Hello and welcome to the Nerdsmith Presents Limited Series. Before we get started, we'd like to let you know that we're raising money for the Palestine Children's Relief Fund. The PCRF provides medical and humanitarian relief to children throughout the region, regardless of their nationality or religion. We smashed our second goal of $200 and our current goal has been updated to $300 US. We'll be fundraising throughout the end of the month. Please type !give in the chat for more details. My name is Nerdsmith Network. I use she/they pronouns. I recognise the traditional owners of the different lands we work and play on today and the Indigenous people present in this stream. I pay my respects to all elders past and present and acknowledge and celebrate the diversity of Indigenous people and their cultures and connections to the country and waters of all colonised lands. Tonight, we humbly offer you the third in a 4-part chronicle using the Vampire the Masquerade 5th edition system as part of the Nerdsmith Presents series, where 6 game masters and their players are offered this remarkable platform thanks to Nerdsmith. We will be delving into the world of darkness and what relatively young vampires can contend with when they are thrust into politics, double-crossing and investigation. Will they find a solution to the mystery they're tasked with unravelling? Or will they simply disappear like so many kindred before them? Now let's meet our vampires.
Hello everyone, my name is Kat. I go by she, they pronouns, and I am playing Sophie, a Toreador girly for the girlies, by the girlies, pronouns she, her.
Hey, I am Mitch, he, they, and I will be playing Robert or Roberto or Robbie, who is a traditionalist Tremere, so he, they.
Hi, I'm MK, I use they, them pronouns, and I'm playing Doc, the Ventru Doctor, who also uses they, them pronouns.
And I'm Rosie, I use she, her pronouns, and today I will be playing Mina, the punk disco Toreador who uses she, they pronouns.
Thanks so much. Cannot wait to see what you get up to today. We'd like to do some shout outs to our sponsors. First off, Die Hard Dice. They're home to the friendliest shopkeepers in the realm, carrying quality dice and accessories. You can use the code NERDSMITH for 10% off your next order. Be sure to let them know we sent you. Shout out to Hero Forge. They're an online character design application that lets you create and buy customized tabletop miniatures and statuettes. They release exciting new features every Tuesday for their pro subscribers. You can use the link in chat to get your pro subscription and help support the network today. World ANVIL is a set of world building tools that help you create, organize, and store your world setting. If you'd like to check out all that you can do with a Sage membership, you should check out our link in the chat. And we'd like to thank Grinding Coffee. They're a Black LGBTQ+ owned business that sells coffee and coffee subscriptions. You can use the code NERDSMITH to get 10% off your next order. We'd also like to give a huge thank you to Rebecca for our incredible character art that you saw in the intro before. You can check them out on @RGHamersley_art over on Instagram. That's RGHamersley_art, like a painting. And a little housekeeping before we dive into our game. This game is set in the world of darkness. It's a setting not that dissimilar to our own world, but it's a little bit darker, a little bit stickier. Before we sat down to play tonight, we went through our lines and veils as a group, and we've set up safety tools to ensure that while we might encounter confrontational events in our game, everyone's safe. This story may include some of the trigger warnings that you can see pinned in chat, and perhaps some more depending on how our story goes. If any of these themes are of concern to you, please take breaks or consider not watching. We will be playing monsters, but that doesn't mean we become the monster. Please look after yourselves and watch at your discretion. Last, when we met our glorious vampires, there was a ritual in a basement of an apartment block. There was a meeting of a ghost. There were some answers from some source, an eye in the sky perhaps, of the location and whereabouts of one Sophie Sire where we found out about some bright green shipping containers with NCF written on them in bold black writing. There was a slumber party. And then we met a new friend, Bob, your friendly neighborhood Nosferatu. Everyone needs a Bob. He imparted to our little coterie that perhaps sires were wrapped up in some quote-unquote shady shit. And Bob sounded a little bit jealous that he hadn't come up with the ideas. We learned that there was an accountant who was awaiting word from said sires. A car was procured. The sheriff was visited. The sheriff was not home. And there was some feeding. During which time, Sophie and Doc found some information regarding Doc's sire that neither of them really knew what to do with. And then we ended with the coterie heading off to the coterie clubhouse, where they met one Alexander, who was looking for a book with some frustration and urgency. And this is where we pick up today. So, Mina, you're standing in a room. Robert is poised to conduct another ritual. And suddenly, the feel transports you back to a memory. It's a memory some time ago now. You're standing in the doorway of a room that's very much not your aesthetic, where your haven is the veritable magpie's nest of shiny objects. This room is quite clearly a minimalist aesthetic. It's white. There's no decoration. It's very clean, stringent almost. Perhaps some might say surgical. Behind a white desk with a white lamp on it and a white laptop, there is one Annette Plummer. She's holding a phone up to her ear. She briefly casts an eye your way, holds up a finger, and then beckons you in and gives you a very pointed "So, are you going to have the collection ready? Yes? I don't care what it takes. Have them shipped overnight. I will not be disappointed. Do you understand?" That's what I thought. Lovely, darling. Mwah. And she hangs up the phone. She looks at you up and down. That's the outfit you're choosing today, is it?
Yes, ma'am.
Well, I did say I'd let you start making your own decisions. Very well. Okay. If you think that's the best that you can do right now, that's fine.
I thought
Yeah.
it was pretty, sorry.
I suppose it is after a fashion. If that's your thing. She stands up and walks around the desk, lays a hand on your shoulder. It's cold, it's hard. To someone looking from the outside, it might convey a sense of warmth, but you know quite differently. And this is a firm, guiding hand that, since your embrace, has been moulding you and forming you in a very particular path. She leans down and says, "We're going to do a good job this time, aren't we?"
Yes, ma'am.
Good girl. Let's run through the brief again, shall we? She starts to relay some details. It's another job. She sent you on many of these before, where you've been sent in to lure individuals to a certain goal, to prompt them to make certain decisions that are advantageous to Annette's business interests. This one, you are to be attending a party. You are to schmooze the crowd, catch the eye of one particular individual, and make sure that they leave the party knowing that they are to make investments in a certain business when it is floated on the stock market, and that there would be a very unfortunate accident should that investment not be of a sizable amount. And it's also very clear to you that should this not go ahead, the human you are to be influencing will not be held accountable. You will be.
Making all sorts of mental notes, because, gosh, Britt, I have a notebook to write this down in. Have to commit it to memory. So I repeat all of those little cues in my head, and with as much confidence as I could muster, assure Annette that I will do a good job this time.
Wonderful. We don't want another mess up like last time, do we?
No. No, we do not.
We remember what happened last time, don't we?
Yes. It won't be like that. I promise. I promise.
Good. I would hate to have to clean up a mess again because somebody couldn't control themselves.
It won't be like that, I promise.
Not. I'd hate to have to take the punishment from the prince again, and who knows if I'd be allowed to give you a second chance again.
I'm grateful that I have a second chance at all.
Well done. Very well. I'm trusting you this time. And no sneaky snacky snacks of bags. Learn to control that hunger of yours, young lady, lest it get you in more trouble than even I can clean up. Have I made myself clear?
Yes, ma'am. Yes.
She gives you a little bit of a squeeze on the shoulder, and again, on the outside, it should convey some semblance of warmth, some sort of familial type affectation, but it is cold and harsh and acts more of a reminder under whose control you actually are. You are not your own person. Everything you are, you owe to this woman who is teaching you. At least that's what she thinks she's doing. She removes her hand from your shoulder, pats you on the cheek, says, "Well, I'll see you in, 3 hours? 4 hours?"
Yes, that sounds about right. That should be enough time. That will be enough time.
We deal in definites.
That will be enough time.
Wonderful. Well, you're dismissed.
Oh. Thank you. And I will turn to leave quickly.
She walks back around the desk as you're leaving the room and picks up the phone again. Starts another conversation. As you cross the threshold out of the very pristine room, you're suddenly transported to a glitzy, bedazzled ballroom. The music is very much to your taste. We've got some ABBA playing. It's 100% Mina's room. The spangles, the sequins, the gold lame, it's all here.
So my
Mina
outfit
is
choice was
having a
good.
time. Yep. Definitely not Annette scene. Possibly why she sent you to go and do this job for her. You spy your mark across the room. It's a tall gentleman, very broad shoulders, in a very nicely cut Italian suit. Kind of looks a little out of place, like maybe he didn't expect this much spangle. But he's got a glass of champagne in his hand. There's a couple of people talking to him, and he seems largely bored, and just kind of catches your eye across the room, raises an eyebrow, gives you a bit of a wink and a smile.
I will absolutely
turns to-
beckon.
Excellent. He turns to his conversational compadres, ? Excuses himself and walks on over. Grabs another champagne glass on the way over and offers it to you.
Well, thank you. Didn't look like you were having enough fun over there.
Am I likely to have more fun over here?
Absolutely. Come dance.
I don't normally dance, but okay. Just because you ask so nicely.
Ah. We'll dance, and I will hold the champagne glass.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. He downs his as you head towards the dance floor and just kind of hands it out to one of the waiters roaming the floor. He dances poorly, but gosh, he makes a try of it. He's trying to impress you. He makes very light conversation. So, why are you here?
Mostly to have fun, but also I'm here on behalf of a benefactor. I hear there are some good investments to be made in such and such company. If you were to make a sizable investment, I can assure you would have dividends like no tomorrow.
Another person who's trying to get me to give them the money.
Not to me, to such and such company, and I can assure you it is a wonderful investment. You don't have to make a decision right now, but perhaps after a little more fun, a little more champagne, and I'll hand him my glass, sort of playfully.
Take it. He'll take it and give you a wink. What kind of fun did you have in mind? This is a bit boring.
Oh. Well, I'm sure we could make our own fun. If you have other hobbies that you would like to take part in?
He leans in very close and describes some hobbies he might be interested in that would definitely not be appropriate to partake in on a dance floor, shall we say.
I will give him a quick sort of peck on the lips and sort of grab him in and whisper, perhaps those could be a signing bonus.
You must tell your boss. She's very good.
She is. Best in the business, I can assure you.
I may still need some convincing, but come on. I'll take you to my room. We can discuss business there.
Somewhere more private to discuss all those pesky little details.
Indeed, the fine print. I should like to look over it very carefully.
Of course. Make sure everything is as it should be.
I'm sure it is, but business, we need to pay attention to the details, yes.
Yes. And off we go with a forlorn look to the dance floor.
He again downs the champagne glass and almost casually tosses it off to the side. It's just very barely caught by a waiter. You are transported to a very finely appointed hotel room. How is Mina feeling in this current situation?
How much time has passed? How tight is her deadline getting?
She's taken maybe an hour to get him up here, which, it's not a bad record. Certainly better than last time. But time is ticking.
I think her focus on the deadline is more prevalent than anything else, so she's in a do what you gotta do mindset at this moment.
The gentleman closes the door behind him and sits on the bed, pats it, and says, come sit next to me. Let's discuss those details.
Of course. And I'll kind of saunter over and sort of wiggle, shimmy, and sit down on the probably very soft bed. Probably the nicest bed I've felt in Afterlife.
It's very comfortable. Very
I even
comfortable
sink into it a
indeed.
little bit. Like,
One thing leads to another, and the fine print and details are definitely discussed. Mina, can I please get a resolve and composure roll?
ooh, resolve.
As your beast starts to feel the pressure of time and the conflict of you wanting to just enjoy this moment and keeping your eye on the prize and remembering Annette's words.
Oof. 110,
Mhm.
2 1s. Only 2 successes.
As you sit on the edge of the bed, having very thoroughly gone through the fine print and gotten the verbal consent of this gentleman who will absolutely invest in this company, you are overwhelmed by extreme hunger. It's taken you a lot to maintain Blush of Life when all you've wanted to do is just feed on this individual. Your composure has been whittled away, and he's just lying there in a haze. It would be so easy to just take him now.
Nina is so conflicted. She, against Annette's orders, has been sneaking blood bags, which has probably led to some ire prior to this evening. She doesn't like hurting. She doesn't like killing. She doesn't like being a monster. But gosh, she is so hungry. And she is so tired. And this evening has been exhausting. And he probably looks so delicious.
He does indeed. You can sense the blood running down his carotid artery. You can almost hear the heartbeat thumping away, strong, keeping time. His scent is intoxicating, and it's not just the aftershave. You feel your fangs elongate in your mouth. And your beast says, "A little taste wouldn't hurt."
Just a little. We won't hurt him. We need him alive to make that investment. Just a little. That'll be fine. That'll be fine. That'll be fine. And I will take a little bit.
Your fangs sink into his flesh, and your mouth is filled with that thick, unctuous liquid. Your tongue luxuriates in the flavor of it. This rich-blooded gentleman is possibly the most delicious thing you have tasted in your entire time as a member of the undead. Swallow. And you swallow. And you swallow. Mina, can I please get another resolve and composure roll from you?
Oh boy. Let's see. 3 successes, 3 failures. One of those failures is a 1.
Mina, now that this has hit your mouth and you are feeling yourself fueled by it, and your beast is coming to the front and feeling even more powerful and more, dare I say, alive for having tasted this, your ability to stop is diminished. And as the last slow trickle fills your mouth and you hear the heartbeat slow down, pull away and lick your lips and realize it's going to be very difficult for this gentleman to make that investment now.
Oh no. No. There will be a moment where she is absolutely frozen. And then she's going to quickly look around the room. The gentleman said this was his room. She is going to tear it apart, looking for, of all things, his checkbook. Just so she has access to his, just so she can come back to Annette with something. His bank account number, anything. I don't know if credit cards are around in 89.
Oh, they're definitely around.
Okay. Grab a credit card, something.
You see a suit bag hanging in the wardrobe. You see a duffel bag over by the desk. This gentleman's clearly used to traveling and doesn't tend to travel with an awful lot. And as you, your eyes fall on the suit bag once more, you notice that there is a small hotel safe.
I'm probably not lucky enough to have it be open. I'm just gonna try with my long nails. She's not in the right headspace right now, so she's going to try to, with her long nails, pry it open. Desperately.
Okay. Can you please give me a dexterity plus larceny roll?
I have nothing in larceny. Oh, that is 3 successes, 1's a 10.
Excellent. You pry your nails through the gap in the door. It's largely unresponsive, and you're like, sheer desperation takes over. What is Annette going to say if she finds out? What is going to happen? You have to go back with something. You just have to. There is no second chances. You've already been given one. There's not a third. And suddenly, the hinge on the door gives way, and it does open. You pry it open. And there is a wallet. There is a checking book. There is a passport. And there is a wad of cash in there.
I will hastily take all of it, shove it in my coat pockets, and then just tear through the room to make it look like this was a robbery gone wrong.
It's at this point that the hotel room phone rings. And rings. And rings. I mean, are you staying in the room or are you running away?
Running. Running as quickly, quietly, stealthily as I can. Out.
Excellent. You grab your clothes, you grab your belongings, and you run. You run to a taxi waiting out the front of the hotel.
Oh gosh.
Where are you going?
I'm probably covered in blood. I will just like shout the address, the last known address of like one of Annette's hideaways. Gosh, now I was meant to go back to I'll give them the address of the coterie clubhouse. That's where Annette is right now. And just like throw some of the wad of cash at the taxi driver. No questions, just go. Just go, please.
Are you okay?
I'm fine. You know how rough some gentlemen can get. I want to get out of here. Just move on with my night.
Okay, no worry, I'll get you home.
Thank you so much. Gotta sleep this one off.
And in an instant, you're standing out the front of the gates of the coterie clubhouse. The taxi driver drives away. He does shoot you a concerned look, and he does say, "You rest well, okay?"
Thank you. Have a wonderful night.
Yeah, you take care of yourself. The gates open, and you can see up on the hill. This is before the topiaries were put in place. You can see an individual standing in the doorway of the front door. Her pristine white suit. A beacon in the dark evening. Moonlight's hitting it. You don't need to see her face. You know it's going to be a very long night. One that you're not entirely sure if you'll make it through. What is going through Mina's mind right now?
She could scream for that taxi to come back. She has money now. She could just leave. But Annette would find her. So best to just deal with it. And hope that she's merciful again. I can deal with a tighter leash.
Kindred aren't very well known for their mercy, though, are they?
No, they are not. But she's done it before. Maybe she'll do it again. I have gifts.
And she did choose you.
For one reason or another. She must see something in me. Right?
Surely she must. As you walk up the very long driveway towards what inevitable fate you will find at the hands of one Annette Plummer, we'll turn our scene over to Sophie, who's helping currently Doc try and find a blue book with a red ribbon that Alexander has been trying to find for a little while now. Sophie, you cast your eyes around the room. You're looking above the fireplace. You can't find it. It's not there. It's not. I mean, you know that there's a library in here. And Alexander's clearly looked at the desk. Where could this possibly be? You take a look over at a bureau, a sideboard on one of the walls. You notice that there is like a toy soldier in almost like French revolutionary type things, and you're focusing on the buttons and the buttonholes when the little gold glint of buttons transports you to a memory that you have of some fashion plates that you've been pulling together for your next collection. It's bubblegum pinks and bright blues and fun and hip and just like loads of fun. It's very Sophie, with gold accessories up the wazoo because, you know, we can be classy and still have fun. You've been poring over these for weeks now and you're so proud of them. They look great. You think that you've nailed it this time. This is what is going to nail the brand Tortor and cement its place in history. This is it. And as you're holding these sheafs of paper, you're sitting in a chair in front of Tierra, who is flicking through a magazine. Her short cut hair is framing her face. Those very chiseled cheekbones are there. She's flicking through maybe a Vogue, something like that anyway. And she's just casting an eye over the magazine at you. She's like, yes? What is it?
Ta-da! She holds up one of the sheets of paper with a potential logo design on it, and it's not quite the Tortor that we have come to know and love. It's ever so slightly different, just not quite the same.
She casts an eye over it and puts the magazine down on her table and what's the goal here?
Goal? To look cool, to be cute, to be fun, to spark some light. She falters.
Superficial that this is all you've got?
Well, I mean, it's not meant to have like some sort of deep meaning. Like it's not like it's for the fun of the aesthetic and to look cool and to it's aestheticism.
And this is what you've been working on, is it?
Yeah.
This is what you've been spending your time doing?
Well, you know, I need to put together the perfect look for when I launch this, because you only get to launch a business once, and I just want to make sure that everything's like really cohesive and cool and fun and like with the age. Yeah.
And so, no distractions then?
No, of course not. I mean, the only other stuff that I've been doing is like the errands that you've been sending me on, and that's not really a distraction. That's like it's like a weird day job that you do, and then you go back and then you work on your passion.
Sophie, can I please get a manipulation and subterfuge from you?
Sure.
As Tierra is very much not buying the narrative. She looks you up and down and says, You want to try again?
What do you mean try again? This is like, yeah, I go out and I do my research and like see what people are wearing out on the streets, and then
People, what kind of people? Who have you been talking to?
like people at the clubs and like, you know, the cool people that are like up with the times, and humans, of course, but you know, those that are most alive and like
Stop bullshitting me.
what do you mean? What?
I'm going to
not-
give you one chance to come clean.
About what? This is what I've been doing with my time.
Not all that you've been doing with your time, is it?
Going out, partying, going to see people, checking in on
People.
nightlife.
Ophi.
Tierra.
Gotta lie to me?
I haven't lied.
I know you've been seeing her. When I said you were to cut all ties with your human family, I meant all of them.
Yeah. Yeah, and yeah. You did say that.
So why are you lying to me then?
Well, I mean,
And she pulls out from her drawer an envelope and starts pulling out one photograph and laying it on the table, and another photograph, and another photograph. And it's of you with your grandmother, Sammy.
Sophie's blood runs cold. Like, as the conversation had been progressing, like she'd known that this is kind of what it was leading to, but the fact that there is now cold, hard evidence lying there on that table, she knows she's been caught out. She's
Do you want to explain why I had to go and talk to the sheriff and the prince and clean up your mess?
clean up my mess. Is Grant, are you okay?
Well, that's entirely up to what comes out of your mouth next. We don't leave loose ends, do we?
No. Sophie can't look into Tiara's eyes for longer than a second. They keep having to look away, like she can't. She's buckling under this pressure. But she doesn't have anyone. It's just me. And you know, she's always looked out for me, and so I can't just not go and see her. Like, it's not like she's gonna live for much longer anyway, and I just
up and walks over to you, and you do feel her soften a little bit. And so that's why she's been put into an assisted care facility, and she's been told that her dearest darling granddaughter has gone on a wild European tour to go and visit all the greatest fashion houses. And that's why you are never going to go and visit her again, are you?
Where is she?
You don't need to know that, because you are never going to visit her again, are you? I would hate to have to tell the prince that you've made another mistake. Just looking out for you.
You. I owe so much to her, and it feels
She
wrong.
runs a hand down your cheek, says, "No, darling. You owe so much to me. Just remember that. I'd hate to take it all away."
And with that,
Now, shall we go through some of these designs?
Distracted by that, she's like, yeah, okay.
And as
But
you start to show these designs, sorry, go for it.
No, that's okay. The way she carries herself is like very visibly different throughout the rest of the scene. Like she's pretty defeated.
A willpower and composure, resolve and composure roll as you come to the realization that one of your touchstones has kind of been threatened.
One.
Going to take 1 aggravated willpower damage as you're remembering this scene. And so for those watching, there's 2 types of damage that one's willpower and health can take. One is superficial, which is very easily mended. The other is aggravated, that's not so easily fixed. And poor Sophie has had one of the symbols that reminds her of what humanity is all about and why it's an important thing to us has been endangered. And so this is threatened her understanding of what it is to be a human. But Sophie, as she pores over these pictures with you, her hand just reaches around and rests on your other shoulder. She's like, "No, I don't think we want this sash. I think you want like epaulets or something like that." And she's just giving very superficial advice. You do feel a sense of this having been a turning point. This is where Sophie has to leave behind any last vestiges or pretense of being a human being. This is the moment that Sophie realizes that her human life is 100% done, and she has to toe the company line. And as you stare at these pictures on paper, the gold on the pictures, the accessories, the necklaces and bangles come back into sharp focus, and you're still staring at the buttons on this French Revolutionary soldier statuette. And you're back in the here and now. Robert.
Yep.
Kind of froze for a second, but you're standing here poised with your ritual dagger, wondering where to start with all of this. You need to find something, and you know you've got a ritual for that. Question is, where to begin?
I figure I'll just start cutting and just start shooting blood out everywhere and let the little bloods find the things that I want. It's a fun.
Tremere, gonna Tremere.
Yeah, Tremere gonna
Folks,
Tremere all over these rooms.
We just got a stretch redemption in the chat. Thank you, chat. Robert. You raise your dagger and it catches the light in the room. And as it does so, it kind of blinds you for a second. And when your eyes come back into focus, you're standing in a very different room. This one's much darker. There's a lot more books in this room. You're standing up against the wall, and you're hearing two voices, two very well-known voices to you, conversing. You hear, "I didn't travel all the way from Venice just to come and speak to you about the weather." You hear your sire return with, "No, I'm sure you didn't. Would very much like to know what it is that you did come here to discuss." And with such alacrity and urgency, because I don't remember getting a notification of your arrival. Robert, as the smell of honeysuckle and something much sweeter, almost edible, hits your nose, you realize that this is the regent from your chantry in Venice, speaking to your sire. The regent is the voice that sits in the back of your skull, and so it's very, very memorable to you. And your sire, well, they're an ever-present element of your life these nights. The conversation continues, and the regent says, "It's become apparent that Robert possesses some powers beyond which you are able to mold and shape here. To put it bluntly, you do not possess what he needs to reach his full potential." And you can swear you almost hear your sire crack his knuckles by his side. To suggest that a member of Tremere is not all that they could be, you feel almost the physical blow to one's ego that might have. It becomes apparent to you as this conversation wears on, Robert, that what is being discussed, as though you are not in the room, as though you're just another book on the shelf, is whether or not you're going to stay here with your sire, or if you're going to be whisked away to Venice and put under the tutelage of the regent themselves. You spend some time with them earlier in your unlife, learning the ropes, getting initiated into your particular traditions, and gleaning what you were allowed to glean from their vast knowledge banks. Much of that was still gated. You were given a peek behind the curtain, and you wanted more. So as you listen to this conversation, I'd love to know what's going through Robert's mind.
I think Robert doesn't think much other than, like, the regent's right, and he'll move himself towards those voices to insert himself into the conversation.
As you step forward to insert yourself into the conversation, both voices stop and look at you. Your sire gives you a quick shake of the head, and down by his side kind of waves his hand as if to say, now is not the time, unless you've got something big to say.
With things that have been going on within the last decade for kindred kind as well as the Ivory Tower, it is not the time to shift the values in the way the Tremere do things. If the Regent believes that I can be better and do more for the Tremere and affect the Ivory Tower elsewhere, then that is what we should do. And you should know, sire, we Tremere don't operate like the others. You are just the one who brought me in, and that's it.
The Regent smiles. Very, very small smile. Almost imperceptible upturning of the sides of his mouth. Your sire, on the other hand, face darkens and sets his jaw and looks at you with a "Of course you're right." Perhaps I should let you go.
It's all for the pyramid.
All for the pyramid, indeed. Be a shame, though. Oh. You didn't know? As the Regent looks over with a quizzical sort of a look. Oh yes, Robert here is about to undertake a wonderful project. Robert, you have not the foggiest what your sire is talking about.
Yeah, I'm gonna just stare and wait.
Monk continues. Oh yes, we're looking to harness the properties of native plants and fauna. See if they have any impact on sorceries.
This is beneath me. You should give research like that to a member of the First Circle. I'm beyond that now. It's a waste.
You'll do what I ask.
He'll do what the Regent asks.
The Regent at this point just kind of doesn't step back, but just kind of looks between the two of you, appraising the growing schism that is. Huh. I see that there's some discontent here. But I can also see that this apostate has not quite learned to be grateful for given the opportunities. He turns to your sire and says, "Perhaps I can lengthen my stay here somewhat, and we can to that research together." And looks over at you, Robert, with a raised eyebrow.
If it's worth the Regent's time, then yeah, I can put forth my effort.
You hear your sire mutter, "Oh, if it's worth the Regent's time, okay." And your Regent smiles, nods at your direction, and says, "It would be a pleasure to work with you again."
Agreed. I think we made some great strides and ripples and holes of knowledge opening up before me and us. I look forward to seeing it more.
Excellent. Well, Simone, the night grows long and I grow thirsty. Shall we?
Yeah.
Wonderful. But as the three of you leave this room, you feel yourself transported back to your cell within the chantry here. And you hear a cacophony of voices outside your door. There's shock, there's crying, there's gasps of exclamation. And an undercurrent of something horrible having happened. What would you like to do?
Hands on his desk, get up, wondering what the hell the gangrel did this time. Or maybe it's a Bruja. Darn, I don't know what side to be on.
I mean, it's a fitting assumption.
He'll go out and inquire with the first Tremere he sees.
This individual around, they're relatively new, very young. Basically, they've been charged with just putting the books away because that's all that they've been, made seen fit to be able to do at this point. Everyone starts somewhere, right?
Yeah.
They look at you with their eyes wild and a panicked look on their face. It's just terrible. Excuse me, I have to go. And
What
they break.
happened?
No, I can't. And they run away. Another one comes up to you, a little bit older, someone that you've actually helped tutor a little bit in sigil craft. you've been working with them for a number of months now. Their line work has been getting a lot crisper. They've been actually able to connect their lines a little bit. So you're seeing some promise there. And they look at you and they put their hands on your arms, your upper arms, and go, Venice has fallen. They bombed it.
That's impossible. The wards, the magical protection, surely between the ivory tower and the pyramid, someone must have known. I assume if this is true, everyone got out and moved everything, right?
Your sire is in their office. You should talk to them.
Okay, continue your line work. Next time we meet, I better see some improvement. You are improving, though, so take that as it is.
Thank you.
And he'll
Very
shuffle
kind
off
of
to
you.
his sire, just kind of leaving that person where he's at.
They basically stand stock still. Very clear signs of shock taking over. As you approach your size... Sorry?
Very politely.
Your sire's office is normally quite quiet. They don't really raise their voice. There's no real need to. They've got enough status and enough gravitas that the second they open their mouths, people listen. And as you finish knocking, from behind this very thick wooden door, you hear, I don't care what it takes. Find out who's survived. Get them out of there.
It's Robert. I just wanted to confirm some information.
Hold the line. Robert, come in.
Open the door, close it, and sit down.
Just give me a moment.
Yeah, no problem.
Whatever expense, it doesn't matter. Get everyone out. Somewhere not a major city. Get them to some location quietly and quickly. Yes, use the gargoyles if you have to. He puts the phone down. I'm so sorry. I know we were supposed to be meeting tonight. We were going to go through some of your advanced craft.
An incident has occurred, I assume, so what is the gist of it?
Chantry House in Venice, bombed by agents of the Inquisition, it would seem.
And we knew about it, right? Everyone's shifted, the tomes taken out.
I would love to say that that was the case. We don't know what the exact situation is, only that we've lost a lot.
How
We've
much?
lost a lot.
Our regent?
I'm waiting for the final list. It will probably take nights. Suffice to say, they're not coordinating anything on their side. So I think we must assume.
He'll place his hand on the phone and then chuck it against the wall.
See your sire flinch. Visibly flinch.
This is unacceptable. These things should have plans. To wait that long for information. What is the holdup?
The entire city's been thrown into chaos, Robert. Nobody knows what's going on.
Tremere, we don't do chaos.
I am very well aware of that.
Then
We also
fucking
don't
act
have
like it.
contingencies for this sort of things. What would you have me do?
Something useful.
But can I please get you to roll me a dexterity plus, say, brawl, as your sire raises his hand, which is not something he's ever done.
If he's gonna hit me, I'll relent. I will not dodge.
He is absolutely going to slap you across the face.
Yeah. He'll take it.
You take 3 points of superficial damage.
He'll look down. Is that it?
If you're going to stand here and tell me to be useful, then yes, that's it.
Then I'll get
Go out there and coordinate the younger ones. I will get back on the phone and try and figure out how to get our people out of there and preserve what precious little is still
I'll figure
available.
out what happened in Venice, and I'll get the others to help me.
You will stay here and you will do as I say. If you were left to your own druthers, you'd be over there dead by now.
And so be it. Better than this disorder and this incompetence. I'm furious.
And all that fury. Gather what younger apostates you might know of who have some level of competence. Get into one of the ritual rooms and use your craft to help us find them.
All right. Will do. Get up. Coat. And head out and immediately start grabbing the young ones.
As you close the door behind you, you hear him pick up the phone once more and say, "Burn it all."
He'll like flip open his phone and just kind of message the regent, like, checking in. Let's send. Little antenna down.
Almost immediate reply with, "This message could not be sent."
He'll break that phone.
But as you collect some of the more adept younger Tremere with whom you share some knowledge of their aptitude, and you start to head towards a ritual room, you raise your dagger once more to spill your blood and get the ritual started. And as the glint of candlelight hits your eye from the blade, you blink, and as you open your eyes again, you're back in this room, this night, with Mina standing next to you. Doc, I've noticed that Sophie has been staring at a French revolutionary soldier for a couple of minutes now. As you've been rifling through drawers, you've peered up periodically, gone back to looking at drawers through this desk. You sit down in the chair and start to feel under the desk for mechanisms or something that might not be fundamentally apparent. And As you look up, you're in your office, in your haven, with a very tall individual standing in your doorway, his long white hair cascading down his shoulders in front of him, his pristinely pressed suit forming angles that seem impossibly stylish. Counterpoint to this remarkably well put together individual is the absolute rage and fury on their face and in their eyes. Where have you been?
I've been here all day. What's wrong? Like,
Don't give me that. I know where you've been.
where I... Alaric, what's
Could
wrong?
you?
And Doc
Everybody knows about it.
knows about...
Make me... Duh! You make me look like a laughing stock.
I don't know what you're talking about. Can you just tell me what's wrong so that I can fix it?
Everybody knows. Everybody knows you've been whoring yourself out to that Samitsi.
I don't know what you're talking about, but that's not true. I don't know who told you that. That's untrue, Alaric. He's harmless.
Alice, do you call that? And he points to some very particular flowers underneath a glass cloche.
It was a gift. They're a friend. They were at the medical conference that I've been at this last week. There's nothing else there, Alaric. You don't have to worry about that. I promise. Just
I heard what happened.
ask me what happened.
Why? So you can spin tales and tell me more lies?
I don't lie to you, Alaric. I never lie to you. Ask me
I
what
used to think
happened.
so too. No, why would I? Why would I when people I know and trust, people who haven't whored around behind my back, tell me things? How could you break my heart like this?
I haven't. Alaric, you can't see the stars when the sun's out. I don't see other people. It's just you. It's always just been
And
you for 18 years.
Ambrose.
Is a friend. I told them I was spoken for. That's the truth, Alaric.
Before or after the kiss? Oh yes, I
After.
know about that.
I told them I was spoken for. I haven't betrayed you, Alaric. Promise. They caught me by surprise, that's all. I'm sorry.
He pauses and fixes the cuffs from under his jacket. Well, so long as you remember that what's mine is mine and what's yours is mine, and I will use it as I see fit to remind you whose you are.
Okay. And I think Doc is gonna reach out to, like, grab Alaric by the sleeve to sort of try and
Oh, he pulls
calm him.
away.
I think Doc is very used to Alaric's temper, but very unused to Alaric's temper being directed at them. I know. I understand, sir.
Runs a hand down your face and says, only because I love you so much that I have to teach you these lessons. It's okay. I'll call a team to clean it up.
Clean what up?
Okay.
Alaric, clean what up?
Worry about it. It's
No,
fine. I'll take care of it.
You're scaring me now. What have you done?
I've just sent you a reminder that I can do whatever I want with you and with what's yours.
I think Doc is going to just run for the living room of their haven, because I think
Push
they have a
past
sneaky
Alaric,
suspicion what's coming.
who stands aside. He's got a coy smile on his face that you manage to catch just as you run past. And as you run into the living room, you see the 4 current residents of your haven and your clinic in various states. Blood pooling on the ground. None of them are very long for this world. It looks like a rabid animal has torn them limb from limb. You can hear gasping breaths. You hear the footfalls, very faint, of Alaric, slowly moving forward. It's quite all right. I'll get a team for 4 cleanup crew. It's totally fine.
Doc is going to completely ignore Alaric for the moment and just be entirely focused on if any of their ghouls can be saved in this moment.
Can you make me an intelligence plus medicine roll, please?
Yes. 4 plus 2 crits, so 8.
Excellent. So as you're stepping back into that triage role that you are so very familiar with, this basically being a callback to your human existence, your pre-embraced condition. You know that 3 of them are not, that 2 of them are gone, all but. And you know that one of them is on death's door. And as you glance up and down the 4th individual, you assess that Genevieve, the youngest of the residents of your clinic, has half a fighting chance. But you've got to act now.
I think Doc is going to look between the two ghouls, and Genevieve at this point I think is the newest, has only just joined their house,
like a couple of weeks.
Yeah, and the other person there has been there a lot longer than she has, and Doc is more fond of them, but Doc's ghouls only stay with Doc for 3 years. And this person who's been with Doc a lot longer doesn't have as long left with with Doc as Genevieve has with Doc. And so completely taking their own feelings out of it, Doc is going to save the person who has the longest left to live. And they're going to try and save Genevieve.
As you start working to bring Genevieve back from the brink of whatever walk towards death's door that she's currently on, Alaric walks into the doorway. I don't know why you bother. It'd just be much easier to let them all go. But, I guess I'll leave you to your little pastimes.
Doc is going to sort of have a realization as they're sort of looking around the room and just... You didn't drink from them, though, did you? Like, this is while they're still pressure on wound, like feeding Genevieve their own blood, multitasking. You didn't drink from them, did you, Alaric?
Can you please make a rouse check for me as you feed Genevieve?
It's a success.
Excellent, you don't get hungrier. Alaric just looks and surveys the room and goes, "What do you make me do?" Completely ignoring your question.
They are all sick, Alaric. That's why they're here with me. You can't drink from them. I don't know what it will do to you. Did you feed from them?
That's your concern? God, no.
Okay. Fine.
Right, well, I'll see you tomorrow night, darling.
Yeah, I'll see you tomorrow night.
Love you, bye.
Love you
And
too.
he walks out of the room. Can I please get another intelligence and medicine roll to see how long it's going to take for you to work on Genevieve to stabilize her?
Five.
And it will take maybe an hour of solid work to stabilize her. And as you're really giving your focus and hearing the last gasping breaths of your other ghouls, you do hear a voice at the door. "Come, Alaric, we've got a party to go to." And it's in this moment that you recognize the voice of Angel. Before Alaric goes, "Yes, dear, well, the night is young, and we've got fun things to get up to, don't we? Come, let us away." Before you hear doors close on a car, and the car moves away, barely registering it as you work exceedingly solidly on Genevieve. In this moment, tending to your ghoul, what is currently going through Doc's mind?
I don't think there is very much apart from the next steps. I think there was like a moment where they were almost overcome with like emotion and being, incredibly distraught, but that I think was just pushed down in a way because there's more important things to do right now. And if those things don't get done, that everyone here will die. All 4 of their ghouls will die. They could freak out, or they could try and save the 2 ghouls that were alive and lose everybody, or they can just focus on saving Genevieve and save Genevieve.
So would it be right to say that the individual Doc is taken over by the professional Doc in this moment?
Absolutely.
Excellent. So as you ply your hard-earned medical knowledge and stabilize Genevieve, I think that this is a perfect moment for us to take a break, folks. We're going to go and hydrate our very human bodies and check in as a group. We hope that you are entertained. We will be back with the second part of our tonight's story in just a little bit. We'll see you soon. welcome back. So, Doc, as you are staring at what's in front of you, the blood on your hands on Genevieve, bringing her back, you blink your eyes a couple of times, and you're sitting at a table in the modern night, in a room of your coterie's clubhouse, with your hand on a blue-bound book with a red ribbon bookmark. It's the book that Alexander has been looking for. You don't know quite where it came from, but it's in your hand.
I think I found it.
Oh my god, look! Yay!
Doc's gonna open it to look through for if there's anything that catches their eye in it.
So this book is just a series of words. There's no rhyme or reason to them. They're just words in 2 columns on each page. And the bookmark is at like a random point in the book, so you're not even sure if it's at the current spot that it is needed. And Alexander shuffles back into the room, now no longer in his terry toweling dressing gown and slippers, but actually in a bit of a casual suit. And look, peers over his glasses. Yes, I believe that's the book. Yes.
Oh, okay.
Shall I call the others in?
Yeah. Do that. Yep.
Yeah.
I think seeing Alexander back in like their clothes and not is like, okay, something's right with the world. Like Doc is a little less off kilter. Like, okay, yep, I'm fine.
Yep.
Yeah.
Yep. I'm one with the Force and the Force is one with me kind of a moment. Yes, 100%. Mitch, sorry, my bad. Robert and Mina. Robert, you're just about to like point of dagger meeting flesh when Robert goes, I believe the others have found the book that they were searching for, that I was searching for. I have requested your attendance. Would you mind?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Put his knife away.
You changed.
Well, I didn't think it was appropriate to be in my pajamas anymore. I should be here to assist you should you need my assistance.
You can assist us just as well in your pajamas.
Oh, well, some others seemed to find it inappropriate, and, you know, I won't have it said that I do not serve with a certain level of elan and style to which your sires and perhaps one day yourselves become accustomed.
All right, then. And I'll link arms with him. Shall we?
Yes, right this way, miss. And he leads you both back into the main office where Sophie and Doc are.
Mina, Bobby, we found the book with the secret code word.
It's all just nonsense. Looks like nonsense.
What do we do with it?
We have to call Jason, right? Like.
Yeah.
Yes, I believe they call Jason. I'm not sure what the interval is, but they have asked for me to bring this book to them from time to time. They say a word out of it. I'm not sure if there's a pattern or a specific code, or I'll be honest, I'm out of my depth here.
Okay, do you have Jason's number then? Like.
Yes. And he pulls a business card out of his pocket and goes, there you are.
I think Doc's gonna. Shall I just call him? Like, do we just call now? Like.
Yeah, let's set up a meeting. Let's do this.
I mean, all right. Doc is gonna try and just call Jason, just in front of everybody.
Yeah. Yeah. Hello.
Hi, Jason.
Yeah. Who is this?
Hi, this is Doc. I'm calling on behalf of Alaric. I heard that you might need some code words from me.
Yep. Sorry.
Is this a bad time?
You woke me up. No. It's fine. Wow. Sorry. Hang on. Let me find my glasses. Yeah. Wow. Whew, I was fast asleep. Sorry, folks.
No, you're totally fine.
Ooh, okay. So, do you have the latest passcode? Have you heard from them?
They've had to take a trip.
Right. Yep.
They asked me to give this to you while they're away.
Doc, can you please roll me a manipulation and subterfuge?
Okay, 1 second.
I will say it does have a relatively low difficulty because you are talking to a human
I've
being.
actually got really high, like really high dots in both of those things. You wouldn't be able to tell.
Doesn't use it very often.
No, Doc likes to be truthful where they can. Okay. 4.
4? Okay. So for a moment, it sounds like Jason's kind of like, a little unsure. But it's like, yeah, okay, I guess. Yeah, sure. I'm, waiting on the latest passcode. What you got?
And Doc's gonna open it up to where the bookmark is, I guess, and read whatever is where the bookmark is.
Okay, so there's 2 columns of about 12 words each. Are you just going to pick one at random?
Where did you guys finish off last time?
Oh, yeah, nah, I can't tell you that. Hey.
I mean, I'll just start at the top of the page that I've got then, I guess, and Doc's just gonna read from the top.
Oh, no.
Is there anything else on the page to give me an idea of where it might have stopped last time?
No. There's no mark.
Okay.
There's no crossing off. You spiel off a couple of words, and he's like, "Hey, buddy." But yeah,
I'm not your buddy, but okay.
I'm gonna stop you there.
Yep.
How about you get them to tell you the pattern, and then you call me back?
They're not around at the moment. That's the problem.
Okay, that's fine. We've got a fail safe. It's all good. I'll talk to you in a couple of nights, I guess. And he just hangs up on you.
That went well.
We tried.
Yeah.
But surely they've written down somewhere, maybe, like what the pattern would be. Like,
does Alexander know the pattern?
I'm sorry. No, I bring them the book. I never read from it.
Do you ever listen when they're reading off the words?
Gosh, no. I make myself scarce when they're doing business. If I don't know, I can't tell, and I'm a bit of a liability, you know?
Well, Jason said he'd see us in a couple of nights, so...
Well, I guess that's a positive, right?
Yeah. What time is it now? How long do we have before...
It's quite
dawn?
late. It's getting towards... I would say it's getting towards about 1.
Okay. We have to wait for Bob to tell us about the shipping containers. That's tomorrow.
Right.
We can keep looking around here, I guess, to see if we can find anything else. Does anyone else have any suggestions?
Unless, yeah, I mean, we could like look around here, or we could go for a grand tour around to their like tour houses. Though I don't know if that will give us any more answers in here. We could still stick with the hacking a computer plan that we had before.
Yeah. Is there a computer in this room?
There is. There's a laptop that's closed on the desk.
Is it anyone in particular's laptop, or is it like communal?
You would know that this is a Larix. It's quite old. It doesn't look like it gets used very often.
Can I try and log into this computer?
You can, of course, try. So as you open this, you met with a photo of a basketball as the avatar. He hasn't changed it from the default, and the beautiful blue wallpaper, and the password prompt. Can I get an intelligence plus technology, please, from anyone? I'm assuming Doc is going to try.
Yes.
Is Sophie assisting? Now, do you want to roll each, or do you want to add dice to Doc's dice pool?
I reckon we'll add dice to Doc's dice pool. So Sophie will be like leaning over Doc's shoulder, being like, "Oh, like what about this?" Or like, "If you try this," or like, "Oh my god, it looks like surely he'd have the password just written down somewhere," kind of thing.
He's that kind of old. He's that kind of old that it's like the password is password 1234. Like,
or maybe it's like stuck on a sticky note to the bottom of the desk or something like that. Like. Yeah, so there's
a little pocket book in the back of the blue book. It's like the passwords for every single like app and like device Alaric has.
Written out the URLs, HTTP, yes. 100%.
And it's like Ventru.1, like is the password.
Oh no. Oh, excuse me, sorry.
Sorry, I got
after a couple of tries, on the third try, you do actually get it. It is indeed password 1235.
Tricky,
yeah.
He's wily in his old age.
Yeah,
I bet he thought he was real smart. He was real smart to do that.
Oh yeah,
Big brain.
100%. And when everything opens up, you are met with a very clean desktop. There is one folder that says photos, and there is a document that simply says template contract.
I mean, I have to look at that, right? Like, I have to look at both of those things, but start with the contract probably.
Okay. As you open the contract, it's a lot of legalese at the beginning of it. And as you kind of scroll through, just kind of scan reading it, you come to understand that this is a templated contract for signing over of assets and guardianship. Kind of like a last will and testament, but signing things over to a collective known as the NCF. And when names are inserted in, it's just basically a all rights reserved in the event of return of person A. All assets and liabilities will be wholeheartedly signed back over to person A. In the event that a 10-year time frame elapses and there is no return of individual A, then all assets and liabilities will be signed over to person B, named as the person under whom guardianship shall be assumed. And reading through it, it just looks like, basically, your sires are taking ownership temporarily and holding things in trust for somebody and basically maintaining an eye over them until such a time as either their sire returns or 10 years have elapsed and their sire has not returned, upon which trigger things will be signed back over.
Is there any address or any more information about the NCF institution?
So the NCF address is this address here.
Sure.
Yeah. And that there is also a clause that a Jason Davenport of address Blur is a legal representative of the NCF in the event that the holders, and each of your sires is named, are unable to attend.
Okay. What's in the photos folder?
So in the photos folder, there are some happy snaps from scanned in Polaroids and old tintypes of yourself and Alaric from better days, maybe. There are some
He really does
photo. Can fix him.
Can make him worse.
There are photos of houses. There are photos of cars. There are photos of jewelry. There are photos of individuals, and after these, after their names in the file title, there is, some of them have deceased, some of them have missing, some of them have unknown, and some of them are just the names.
I might bring those up and sort of spin the computer so that everyone can sort of see it and be like, anything here familiar to you guys?
You scroll through this folder of photographs. There is a text file that says "Do not read." What would you like to do?
I gotta, right? Right? We gotta, like, it says, but we gotta, right? Like, open.
I think at this point, plausible deniability has flown out the windows,
Oh,
folks.
yeah. What are you talking about?
Excellent. What file that says "totally do not read me"? As you open the text file and kind of scan through it, you realize that this is a set of instructions. And in the event that your sires do not give Jason a passcode after 5 nights, then all assets and liabilities held in trust by NCF signed over to Sophie Lee, Robert, Mina, and Doc. To be dispersed as they see fit, and all boons held under the name of Sierra, Alaric, Simon, and Annette are to be signed over in perpetuity to Sophie, Doc, Robert, and Mina to be recalled at their wish and behest. And all rights to claims of assets and liabilities and boons shall be forfeited by, and then the names of your sires again.
Damn, they got us good with that one, putting the do not read on there. They knew us
Look.
too well.
Yeah,
They knew.
There's nothing in there about the passcodes. Yes. Well, I'm at a loss. Anyone else have any other ideas?
The do not read document says every 5 days, or else all that stuff happens. That stuff hasn't happened, and it's been, by our account, at least 2 weeks since we've heard from our sires.
Mm-hmm.
So has Jason heard from them in 5 nights? Or less? Or else that stuff would have happened. I'm confused.
So you think someone's been giving them this passcode because
Someone.
otherwise it would have been implemented already, right?
Right. Someone has to know. Someone's
What is-
been pretending.
Who could pretend to be our sires?
Oh, the one that was kissing your sire, Angel.
Holding his hand. There was no one was kissing him. Angel, yeah, no, yeah, I mean, probably, maybe, I don't, do we want to go and, like, Jason's address is in that contract, do we just want to, like, roll up on his house? Like,
Yes, we should.
okay,
Whether-
you're too enthusiastic about that, and that concerns me.
What's your concern?
That you're going to do something ill-advised.
Well, how many days
So?
did Jason say he would see us again in?
A couple of nights is what he said.
A couple of nights, so roughly 2, which means that is probably the check-in day, which means that the last time the codes was given was like 2 nights ago.
That
Yeah.
seems
Right
right.
around when they got called
To see the prince.
and then didn't show up.
Yeah. Okay.
Hmm.
Well, I think we've got 2 options here. We either roll up on Jason the accountant's house, or we call it a night and hunker down here and wake up in the morning and wait for Bob to give us the information we need. If we've got 2 nights left, then we have the time. We don't have to go and see Jason and try and give the passcode tonight. Right?
I feel
Yeah,
like
I don't think going to
whenever-
Jason is gonna help us.
Okay.
I feel like right now all we're doing is reacting and waiting for other kindred to make their moves, and I feel like that's a poor decision.
What do you suggest we do?
I suggest we get that human to talk and then potentially shift the assets over.
Well, the assets are going to shift in 2 days.
But
Assuming.
whoever-
You just hear a, if you'll excuse me, I have a roast in the oven and I feel I should, maybe not be privy to this conversation.
Sure thing.
Let me know
No,
if-
you go, Alexander, and
Yeah.
can I just use
Okay.
cloud memory on Alexander
Yeah.
for like the last couple of minutes?
Absolutely.
And just,
Absolutely.
and
He
just
is
be like,
an unprepared mortal, so you can just, what, are you just wiping it?
I think I just want to make the conversation real hazy for the last couple of minutes and just be like, oh, Alexander, you must be tired. I think you had a roast, so don't you need to go check on that? I think you dozed off a little bit for a second there. You should get some rest. Check on your food, and we're going to continue talking here, so don't let us keep you.
Should get some rest. Yes, you're right. Yes, well, good evening, all.
And the roast. Don't forget the
And
roast.
Oh, yes. Delicious Yorkshire pudding. Yummo. And he just kind of
Delicious.
turns around and shuffles off.
Right. What were we saying?
I think we're trying to decide whether we want to be passive or active.
Active would be going to see Jason and getting him to
Thing.
talk.
Yeah, I would
Getting
even
him to talk
suggest
about what,
shifting.
though?
I would have him try to shift the stuff now.
Why should
He's
he
under
stop-
contract. He can't. There's a contract with a timeline that he has to follow. Legally, he can't shift it any earlier.
True.
The only thing we can
legal.
get from Jason is the code words that was used 3 days ago.
Or who's been giving him the code words?
Well,
Or that.
he would think it would be our sires, right? Like,
Well, I mean, he was prepared to let us give him the code words, so I'm not sure about that.
Because he said he hadn't heard from them in a while. He asked us, or he asked you.
yeah.
So someone
I mean,
else.
call him back. The only reason I'm like, how far away is Jason's house from here? All I'm
It's across
thinking
the
is
other
like
side of...
I'll get
the
there
city
real quick.
is.
Yeah.
Because here's the thing:
Yeah.
we go there, and then like the sun is coming up. I don't want to be stuck at a human's house throughout the day. I've like spent one night not sleeping in my own bed, and that sucks. I would like to not. I love your house, Mina. Wallace is lovely, but it's not my bed. I like my bed.
I know it's cold there. I'm sorry.
And
I would
it's
also note that the address on Jason's card is very much like a service department's kind of office
okay,
block.
so it's not his actual
It's
house.
not his house.
Address.
No.
Well, we can call him back. Do you want to call him back? Does anyone have anything that they can use? Like, I mean, does mesmerize work over the phone?
You would know for your dominate powers like that, you actually need eye contact.
Dang it.
Yeah.
It's worth a
As
shot.
much as I love the rule of cool, unfortunately.
Look, it was worth a try.
Oh, look, bless you cotton socks for giving it a go.
Do we think we could glean anything else from him tonight specifically? That would be helpful.
I mean, there's might be a few more computers here in other offices that we could glean stuff from.
Yeah, we can go and check the other rooms. Like, let's look for more stuff here before we leave. Because if we have to, we can hunker down here. We all have rooms here. We're safe here. Alexander is here.
Making a roast at 1 a.m.
Of pudding? I didn't know you roasted pudding. But that said,
Very
it's
strange.
been a while since I've had to cook anything.
It
True.
might have been a lie to get away from us.
That would be
You know?
hurtful.
It might have been a lie to get away from us.
Not that bad.
Yeah.
You're so good with people, so.
Thanks.
All right, let's search the other rooms. Let's go.
Excellent. So
Right.
are you going together or are you splitting up and heading out to other rooms?
Do we want to do pairs again, or are we keeping the party together? What do we want to do?
Buddy system, right?
Buddy system. Okay.
Okay.
Yeah, that's fair.
So divide and conquer and buddy system?
Yes.
Divide and conquer
Cool.
just
Are we-
don't quite totally divide.
Yes. So are we going in our sibling groups? Wonderful. Robert and Mina, where are you heading to first?
I will
I
let
lead
Robert
that.
lead the way.
Oh, I hate that. Let's go to Sophie Sire's room.
Okay. Why not yours?
I just feel like if anyone took notes or was sloppy, I was gonna maybe I would put like Sophie's sire as kind of one of the
Tremere gonna Tremere.
one of them. Yeah.
Let's go check.
Okay, so you guys want to head to Sophie Sire's office, is that right?
Mhm.
Okay, where are
Sounds
Doc
like-
and Sophie heading off to?
What do you reckon, Soph? Where do you want to check first?
Well, I mean, Sophie was probably going to go to her sire's office, but if there's someone else going there, then she won't.
Yeah, it's like that
Are you
awkward thing
all
where you're like,
meet
all
at
right,
the
let's do it.
doorway
And then,
of Sophie Sire's office?
Yeah, like, oh hey, we went to the same place. That's
it's like,
cool.
what are you
Fine.
guys?
Pulls out the knife. I was gonna get some information out of it.
Not in a room that's not your own, you're not.
This isn't any of our rooms, right? This is.
Yeah, but this is Sophie's sire's. You're not going to bleed all over her sire's room.
It's not. It's a completely different thing. There will be no blood.
Okay. Thin ice, but okay. Do you want to go somewhere else, Soph, or do you want to search here and what do you want to do? It's your sire.
And Sophie sort of like looks to the door and then like she's only ever been into that office once before. And it wasn't the greatest time in there. So she kind of falters and is like, all right, we'll check out somewhere else then. Have fun. Don't break anything.
I'll make sure we don't.
Don't bleed on anything.
The way you see it now is the way it'll be.
Excellent. Great news. All right, Soph, lead the way.
Excellent. Amina, you enter this impeccably stringent office. Very white. It's a very marked difference from the hallway that you're currently in its rich wood colours and warm sort of appointments. This room is very white, very minimalistic. No knickknacks on shelves. It's cold, harsh, and almost hospital stringent, kind of sterile. Everything seems to be put away in credenzas or on the table. What would you like to do?
Gosh, just start opening drawers. Yeah, just if there's nothing apparent, if there's no computer available,
No computer,
Nothing.
no phone, no.
ew. Oh gosh, yeah, it's probably like really uncomfortable because it is the antithesis of like her existence.
It
Um,
really is.
So she's just gonna like walk in, look around, go, huh, so they have very similar tastes, Annette and Tiara. Cool. We love that about our sires. Great. Drawers. Let's look in the drawers. Gotta start somewhere and just start opening things, kind of forgetting that we were supposed to leave it clean.
Noted. What is Robert doing as
I'm gonna
upon
bleed all
opening
over
the
it.
door and seeing this?
Yeah, I'm gonna bleed all over it.
You're going to bleed all over it?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, doing the blood sorcery scour the secrets where I cut myself open and my blood goes out and search for the information I need. Searching the room in minutes instead of what would take significantly longer. And
Excellent.
the
Can you
goal
make
is
me a
anything.
rouse
Yeah.
check?
Yep.
And then your ritual roll for that, as Mina is like quite literally opening drawers and there's notebooks, there's pens and pencils. There's not really a whole lot of material interest in here. And then you think for a moment and you realize that most of the time that you have seen any of Tiara, she's just been tapping away on her phone. and tapping away on her phone and tapping away on her phone.
Mhm.
And you realize, don't think
Oh, no,
you've seen
yeah.
her open like a computer or a notebook or anything like that. Mm. For that technical hitch, folks. You realize that you've never really seen Tiara write in a notebook or anything like that. She's always been tapping away on her mobile phone.
Look around the
When you've
office
seen
for
her do
any, like a charger or anywhere where it would be apparent that she would keep a phone. Like if she's on it all the time, it must have like a dedicated spot one for the rare instance she's not using it. So
Cool.
any
As
sort of instance.
you as you go looking for that, Robert, what was your ritual roll?
So 1 success for the rouse and 7 successes for the blood power.
Bam. Okay.
I think we're gonna have to go on a
Yeah.
break real quick because I think Neff is frozen. So I think we're gonna just go to a break real quick, and
the best
we'll be back
moment.
in just a second.
The ritual was too powerful.
Sorry about that, folks. Apparently Mother Nature hates us, doesn't like vampires, and really didn't like that roll. Shall we try that again? So you got 7 successes. Cool. Can you detail what it looks like as Robert spills his vitae and sends it on the pursuit of the particular type of knowledge that he is after?
Yeah. It is a quick slash right underneath the fingernails, and then drips out these little mini people of like red blood, and he like bends over and he's like, "Mina, look away. They're shy." And I start whispering to them, like, I want to know about this information, about the conspiracy and stuff like that. Do your thing, please. I look at the one that always does something silly, and I'm like, please don't. We can't leave a mess. Not more than I'm already going to do, because I forgot that you guys will leave a mess. But
The humanoid figurine just puts his arms down, and while it has no face, it definitely portrays disappointment.
All right, off. Your thing.
They scurry off. They're dispersed across the room. Mina, who is not looking, does see like a little red streak in front of their vision, and a little trail behind them on the very nice clean floor. And then 3 seconds later, it crosses back in front again, and there's a second streak in front of it. After a couple of minutes, Robert, you cast your eye around the room, and you see one of them jumping up and down on the end of the table.
Yeah. All right.
And they just hold up like a key charger. So it's like a wireless phone charger. And they're doing a little dance with it.
Oh, good. You get sucked up first, and I'll like just put my finger on it and just suck the Vitae in to like learn the information that he had, thus ending his very short existence.
Yep. You glean that this charger was last used about a week ago, give or take a couple of nights, and that it hasn't even been looked at since then.
I toss it to Mina.
Sorry?
I toss it to Mina, just like...
Yep. Mina, you have one wireless charger in your inventory.
1 week ago, it was used.
So either they haven't been gone for as long as we think, or someone's using her phone.
So, if I recall correctly, Sophie's sire is in torpor. Staked, I think was a general feeling.
From your eye in the sky ritual, yes.
Could we maybe theorize that the coterie has imploded in paranoia, and that some of our sires have turned against each other in an act to take over all the boons?
Oh, like infighting. Like one of them's like, I want all the good stuff. And
Yeah.
who do you think that would be then? Which of our sires is the most vicious, brother?
I am going to be honest. Until like a day or two ago, I could not for the life of me remember the names of your sires. So I don't really know them. I've kind of like been in the room, but also thinking about other things. I would rule out mine just because. I don't know. It doesn't seem this style.
Well,
let's go after Docksire. I think that's, if anyone.
Do you think? I know I'm not supposed to look, but do you think
you can look
found...
now. It's just a creation of it. They're kind of like Garden of Eden. They're naked at first, but once they realize their existence is short, the threads of their mortality fall away, and they have to deal with depression and all sorts of stuff. So they get it now. I guess is what I'm trying to say.
Have they found anything else, or is there the potential? I don't quite know how the little dudes work.
Other people do it differently, and I sometimes envy them. And I'll look.
You don't like the little dude?
Sometimes I do, sometimes I don't. It was an interesting idea when I first thought of it and incorporated it, but now like that I do it is just kind of weird, I think. Yeah. So here, boy. If there's anything else.
You get the attention of the rest of your little knowledge gatherers. you ascertain from each of them in turn that Tierra was making notes in something, but it isn't here. And that it was a leather-bound book. And you get a glimpse of what it looked like. There's a little scrap of paper that's being held by one of your motes of intelligence that is out there. And you also get that in the same book, she had been writing about feelings of needing to go somewhere. She didn't quite understand what it was, but it was like itchy feet. She remembers when she was a human and that need to travel, to go and find new things, to go and see new sights, experience new experiences. And it was a very similar feeling to that.
Interesting. I'll relay that to Mina. Do you think I could tell Doc that I tripped?
I don't think so. They are a doctor after all.
Okay. Deal with the consequences.
And I will say, for 7 successes, you also glean that in the bottom of one of the drawers, there's a false bottom to the drawer. And there's perhaps some papers under there that you want to take a look at.
Yeah.
So you reach at the back of the drawer and you lever up this little bit of plywood that's there. And the papers underneath, as you bring them up on the desk, are essentially the last will and testament of Tierra, where she is apologizing to Sophie for some of the things that she may have done. Doesn't go into details.
We're going to take a quick break.
Sorry, everyone. We'll just be one more moment. It's that storm that's coming in. It's playing games.
Technology, folks. My apologies. We're back. So, Robert, as you look through these pages, you come to realize that maybe sensitive information between Sophie and their sire. Maybe you don't want to poke into it, but maybe you do.
Yeah, I do. I feel like, yeah.
You also remember that your overwhelming desire right now is to be able to trust your coterie, and that is a give and take situation.
And I did
Is
just ruin
this
this office.
a situation where perhaps Robert thinks that the gaining of this particular knowledge might jeopardize the level of trust that he currently has?
I slipped a piece of paper to Mina.
Oh.
My mind is going to places, and I don't like it. So,
Oh,
I have this. I believe it's for Sophie. And I am going to tell Doc that I ruined the floor, and the wall, and some of the ceilings.
oh, I'm proud of you for being honest.
Yeah.
Good job. And I'm going to write in the little notebook I have of Robert's wins. Should we regroup with them so we can give this to Sophie?
Yep.
Okay. Do you need a minute?
No, I think all of the littles, I think they're gone. Take one little quick look around, like, we're good.
Awesome. All right, and close the door as if there's not a mess in there.
Though I think we need to go
Oh.
break.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Oh no, again. Yeah.
Alrighty, folks. Well, technical issues being what they are, we're probably going to wrap it up here for a little bit. We'll be back next week. My name has been Nessus. I've been your storyteller for Blood of My Blood. I want to thank Nerdsmith. I want to thank all of our sponsors, and I want to thank our amazing players. In that line, let's see where you can find them and what their names are and who you've been watching and why you've been watching them.
Hello everyone again. My name is Kat. I am Kat_Callahan on Instagram or co.call on TikTok. I have been playing Sophie Lee, the Toreador girly for the girlies, by the girlies.
Well,
I
on
am
you.
Mitch. Yeah, you can find me at all socials at Mitch S. Bustillos. Other than that, the latest update for Chew, the role-playing game, came out, which I'm writing, and it is amazing. So make sure to check out the Kickstarter and other news. So that's it.
Hi everyone, I'm MK. I've been playing Doc, the Ventrue Doctor. You can find me basically on all social media at Moving Castles, Castles with a K.
And I'm Rosie. Today I was Mina. You can find me just about everywhere on the internet as Sweet Rosie B.
Wonderful. And again, thank you so much to Nerdsmith for giving us this platform. If you are looking to give to the Palestinian Children's Relief Fund, please do !give in the chat to find out more details on how you can give. If you are not in a position to give, please share the details. Every little bit helps. We will be back next week, same bat time, same bat channel, hopefully with less technical hitches, and we will be wrapping up this story. Remember, if you haven't caught up with all episodes, you can do so on YouTube. Please go and find out. We love you very much. Thank you so much for watching, and we will see you next week. Bye!